with me, Team Rival on the left side. They have the first pick, which means they also have the first ban. Last time around, NRG decided to ban out Wolfie's Ra. I'm curious to see if they're going to do some such thing. But right now, the first ban being thought about by Team Rival, it's going to be a Khepri one more time. Raffer loves this god, and I'm glad to see it gone.
Yeah, it's a really strong pick. We picked it a lot yesterday because he's just so good to control the duo lane side. Gives a lot of pressure. You get to invade the buffs afterwards. It's really strong.
So my question actually is Thanatos. Thanatos was one of the go-to characters early on in the season and kind of fallen off. Why? Where's Thanatos gone? Why don't we see him as often?
I just don't think you can engage enough with it. Like, that's why you see a lot of bats for. It's because they have a lot of engage potential. You get the 4 stun, the 2 as well. It's really strong. But with Thanatos, you have to ult in. And then how are you getting away? That's
true. And so without Thanatos going to be a reliable option for Ice Baby, I got the sides of the screen right this time, they're going to ban out the Khepri to make sure that they don't have to deal with the old bubble. Fafnir banned out by NRG this time around. Teams really, really taking their time here.
NRG is one of those teams, though, where they're not necessarily going to pick the winning lane matchups. They only want the team compositions. They like battling it out all together, and that's really what NRG has built their staple on. It's always been, and I am surprised actually to see they don't want to risk it anymore at those objective fights.
See, I agree. I don't think Ho Yi is a top pick. I don't think he's a top ban, but at the end of the day, you said it, a lot of people said it. The reason Rival lost that game was a lucky bounce. And if I'm going to go up against NRG, and if I believe that I'm just as strong as NRG, which I think Rival has that confidence in themselves, I want to lose not because of luck. I want to lose because of skill. So I'm going to take that random feature out of there. Scotty and Poseidon. Those are 2 very popular gods, and they're going to be selected by NRG.
I'm actually really surprised why Rival went for Susano over the Scotty. She's really strong because it's the post-patch game, or update we're playing on, correct?
Yeah. So this is before the nerf.
So Scotty's really strong right now with the dog, all the pressure she gets from the lane. So I'm surprised they'd go for Susano.
Yeah, so right now we're playing on 4.5 if you're just joining us. So Scotty has not been nerfed just yet. So excellent point there coming out from Ducky. I think the Susano choice is honestly, when it comes down to it, Ice has just been playing phenomenally throughout the entire course of the weekend. Even last game, we saw the Chang'e post the Gold Fury earlier on, around 27 minutes, right before the defense of the Tier 2 tower. We saw an excellent disengage from an ultimate out of the Chang'e. And so I think they want to feed the hot hand. Ice is playing well. Let him do it.
I also just really like the Susano because maybe they were anticipating the Scotty pick to go through for banning Ho Yi. It's definitely a god that Emil has shown favor towards, and because of that, you have to consider Susano is actually one of the gods that can camp a hunter in that duo lane.
Susano's a guy that can camp a hunter over in that dual lane. Ice has a great Susano. Bellona is Deathwalker, and we saw Wolfie's Ra yesterday. I'm feeling good about this one. I'm feeling good already. Halfway through, Thor, Poseidon, Scotty, Susano, Bellona, Ra. Who do you think has the better first half draft, Ducky?
I'm honestly not sure. Rival, they're really confident in these gods. We've seen them pick it a lot. However, NRG, I favor their comp. I like the Scotty. Poseidon's a strong pick, and the Thor has a lot of engaged potential.
The Poseidon, I've fallen out of love with Poseidon here of late, but I think looking specifically at the Ra, that it's going to be a strong choice. Ra has some trouble really dealing with burst damage like that. He wants to heal it up and have these extended engagements, whereas Poseidon can close the door nice and early. So that's going to hurt him just a little bit. But the Sobek selection, is that a solo or a Guardian, Taco?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Raffer taking that into the solo lane. Placing it in the 4th pick selection leaves room for Dimi to have the option for it in case he preferred against the Bellona. Sobek versus Bellona is a fairly safe matchup. You have ways to interact with her too to stop her clear or slow it down should she opt for that direction. But more importantly, NRG has a lot more crowd control, in my opinion, in comparison to Rival's drafts, and that's probably going to be the biggest detriment for this Rival composition.
Well, we're going to match Sustain with Sustain. Guan Yu will be the selection for, honestly, still don't know if that's going to be solo or dual lane. Sobek and Guan Yu, where do you think they're going to put them?
I honestly don't know. I'd prefer to see the Sobek in the solo lane against Bellona because it's a really good matchup.
Right.
However, I'm not too sure about Guan support. I haven't seen it a lot. I've seen Rafa play as certain warriors like Herc, etc., but I'm not sure about the Guan.
The Xing Chen, though, on the side of Team Rival, knowing that Deathwalker loves that Bellona, I have to expect to see Xing Chen in that long lane. Real quick, Taco, what are your feelings on Xing Chen support?
Xing Chen's support can be really strong if you're facing off against heavily auto-attack based compositions because he just works so well in counteracting it, but I would definitely prefer to see him in a solo lane role rather than a support.
So with these drafts, with this composition, Ducky, do you think we're going to a Game 3?
I'm honestly not sure. Maybe Rival can pull it back and get some momentum, but we'll have to find out.
How are you feeling?
NRG's draft is pretty sick this game. I have to be honest. I mean, it's always fun to cheer for the underdog, but draft-wise, I feel like the experience on NRG might take this one.
Handyman and Aggro, give me a Game 3.
I agree. Give us a Game 3. That's what I want to see as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully the fans at home do, because Rival have an opportunity here to even this up. Their composition is pretty strong. It's playing to their strengths. Wolfie on Raw, and you've also got Bellona played by Deathwalker.
And not only that, Susano for Ice Ice Baby in the jungle. I love this top 3 right away for Rival. The on her, beautiful for Vote. The only thing we haven't really seen is Kalas on the Xing Chen, but he's got a pretty wide god pool. He seems to be able to play a lot of different things in that support role. So I really do love this draft from Rival. My only gripe with this draft is that they gave Emilito Scotty. And Emilito's been playing Scotty since before she was the best hunter in the game.
Yes,
now
that's
that
true.
she's definitely the best hunter in the game, at least in this patch, God bless, dude. Good luck.
But it sees that the plan from Rival will be to be aggressive in this duo lane early on. With an Anher there, you're looking to try and control this left-hand side of the map a little bit more. Anher around the jungle area in the early game, fantastic control. And already they've got a bit of pressure in this lane by their positioning here. Is it going to be interesting to see what Melito and Rafa do to answer this back?
Yeah, if Ice could come over here and give Vote the help that he needs, it really could be a big lead for Vote in that duo lane.
Deathwalker in mid, though. He's wrapping around the back, and Yamin didn't see it coming. We've been watching this all weekend long. And Rival will gain first blood. Ice Ice Baby on the board, and you don't want to give that to a Susano.
That's the dream scenario right there. Now Deathwalker doesn't even need to use his teleport because Dimmy didn't really push that wave up too hard.
What's Rafa doing? Rafa? Hello? He's sat in the camp right now on the left-hand side because he's so inexperienced through the wall, but he's also protecting the purple buff. I know it looked really awkward there, but he's hugging the wall just so he can get the gold from the minions dying to the tower.
Really smart play. NRG's always down to do some weird stuff. Exactly, just trying to min-max any sort of potential that they can. After securing this purple buff, Raffer's going to hit level 2. Emilito going to get a lot of experience here by taking both the purple and the red at the same time.
So NRG have a bit of an advantage here because they do get the purple and red, whereas Rival got the oracles on that left-hand side. They'll both be in the wave at the same time, though, but there is a small experience lead right now for NRG in that lane. Right-hand side, though, different story here for Rival. They've got the pressure that they're after.
And that's because of Dimmy on this Guan Yu, though he wouldn't have had pressure on the Sobek either, but is it any surprise that NRG drafts Sobek, who has a great matchup up against the Bellona? They're like, yeah, Dimmy, you don't need that. We'll just give you this horrible matchup in Guan Yu where you just get bodied under tower all game.
It's rough, but at the same time, Dimmy can't get cancelled out of Talor Assault or anything like that by the Bellona. Yeah, he can get poked down quite heavily, but getting that solo lane Guan Yu to late game means those sustained, the heals coming through will be more impactful.
Oh, Pluck just misses there for Raffer and NRG. They have the level lead here in this jungle advantage. Kalas getting pretty low from the damage just from Emilito.
Not a great fight for Rival there with how NRG played it. They just end up getting poked down, trying to disengage more often than not. Means a couple more potions from the side of Rival have to be used here, as Raffer will be lurking for that Pluck if he can find it once this minion goes down.
Vote only level 2 still. Was red buff stolen away there by NRG? It looks like it. Emilito is level 4 right now and is only going to continue to expand that lead as NRG go towards the enemy purple.
So once again, it looks like it's going to be an advantage to Rival on the right-hand side, which we've seen quite a lot this weekend. And then on the left-hand side, NRG do have a small lead right now.
And I want to see Ice Ice spend time in this left side instead of the right. You're not going to be able to kill Guan Yu over and over again. And even if you do, it doesn't really matter. He's just going to be leveling that conviction once he finishes off Talor Assault. And he's going to be effective in the team fights no matter what, at least in terms of healing up his team. Clearly, we saw what Emilito can do in that last game where he just won the game for NRG with that ricochet, basically, even when behind. I'd really like to see Ice Ice punish this low mobility hunter, because if you can give Vote a lead, on her from ahead is terrifying. He can just bully you out of lane easily.
Ice Ice Baby looking towards mid lane again. Wolfie is under the tower, but his snipes have been on point all weekend long. Major focus on the minions, though, really coming out from Ice Ice Baby. Still level 4 alongside adapting right now, but he's going on a ride.
No purification beads, and as he uses them there, Wolfie Does have that snipe available, but Ice going to be able to get out of danger. No dashes is what I was thinking of there. Ice was all out of mobility, which is tough to do on Susano. He's got plenty of it.
But that's another 150 seconds now until we can see Ice Baby escape the next stun or CC combination. And with Adapting just hitting level 5 now, he will need to take a trip back to base to get some mana back. Ice Baby's going to play the next 2 minutes very carefully.
And one of the few weaknesses that Susano has is not having a CC immune ultimate. He's got no way to get out of Adapting's full combo if he hits him with that Anvil of Dawn.
So right now, decent situation for Rival to be in after the first blood. The gold experience lead just ever so slightly in their favor, mainly on the mid, jungle, and solo lane. Dual lane, completely different story, and they're going to have to look at Emilito in the future because Scotty will be a nuisance.
And that's a thing that I think a lot of teams look at in terms of energy is Dimmy always has these low pressure matchups. There's not a whole lot of point in camping him. There's not a whole lot of point in trying to keep him down because his matchups usually do that by themselves. Emilito gets to free farm in a lot of these matchups.
Adapting
really
to this guy, keep an eye on Ice Baby. He'd like to go for that with no beads, and he will go straight forward with a snipe from Wolfie. Was beautiful! Different story from the Kraken, though, coming out from the mid laner of Yamin, as he does end up falling down to Wolfie. Great ultimate out from Deathwalker, but he can't pin down Dimmy long enough.
Wolfie's Raw is just nuts. I mean, you saw their coach Alpha Jackal throw up the sign yesterday before, a very rude sign, saying that Wolfie equals Raw, and that's exactly right. He's just on point. Not only is that snipe great, but the beam over the top to clean up Yamin in that scenario. Great positioning and great mechanics coming out of Wolfie.
Do you know what? I actually want Rival and Saw to face off, so I get to see Aninster versus the mid lane of Wolfie, but they both have to play. They both have to. They both get to play Raw. There's just one rule. They both get to play Raw.
Cooper has to like sign off on that. I don't know if he's going to be down.
Oh, no one cares about Coop. He just finds people.
I care about Coop.
Yeah, because you just got to get him fined. Right inside, though, Deathwalker's so confident. Look at the bludgeon. Great juke through from Dimmy. And Deathwalker's getting heavily punished. Dimmy's in a good spot because of minions, but the sustain from the Scourge helping Deathwalker out. Keep an eye on the jungle rotations, though, because there's 4 members of energy around him. It was a trap, and Deathwalker bit off way more than he can chew.
What Vote did in Game 1, Deathwalker does in Game 2. If that bludgeon hits, he probably kills Dimmy at level 8, but it didn't, so he didn't. I mean, that's all it comes down to, and you can't, it's so hard to make the judgment call there. Is killing Dimmy in that situation even worth it? Because Deathwalker probably falls in response. He's worth a lot more gold than Dimmy at this point. You have to weigh these opportunities with your risk reward.
Well, it's still not over just yet because there's 1,500 gold lead right now for Rival at the moment as Emilito and Vote MBK will continue to box in this lane. Vote's going to be very careful here because Caldeir, if the ultimate gets popped right now, he's going to go down to 20% health very, very quickly. And he's got to be careful of that piercing cold too. Vote MBK's job in this lane is survive now.
But he does have that jump. Even through Emilito's ultimate, you can jump out of it. It's only a root, not a cripple. Problem is that if that jump gets forced, if Adapting shows up, even with purification beads, it might not be enough.
Talk about junglers, it's Ice Baby that's showing him. Callus trying to close the gap on Emilito right now. You can see that he sent Caldeir out straight away onto Ice Baby, not to really do damage, but to try and body block and slow him down on that rotation.
And again, Emilito, he's been playing this character for so long. He's just so comfortable on it.
Adapting, goes to the sky here. Looking early on, in the end won't find what he was after there, which was Callus on that Jing 10. Energy were collapsing beautifully to follow up off that Thor, but Rival played that so much better, realizing the danger was there, and back away.
Remember that this Thor-Poseidon combination can be difficult to execute when Adapting drops that wall. You can't release the Kraken if any part of that center circle is touching the tectonic rift, and so you have to be very, very precise in terms of dropping that, or just use it before the rift comes out.
Well, left-hand side, you can see that the pressure from Rival is on the Gold Fury right now, but Emilito's here looking to secure, but Emilito's in a lot of trouble. Rival get the Gold Fury, pick up Emilito. Rafa's next on the list. Rotation from Energy's here. Vote might go down. No, Beater jumps away, but Adapting will close the gap, making it a 2-for-1. Rival come out big.
Even with the snipe missing the Gold Fury, it doesn't matter. Rival able to secure it, and it hits Emilito, allowing them to pick up the kill, which might be better in this situation, especially considering the fact that Rival ended up securing it anyways. What could have turned horribly ends up working out better for Team Rival.
Just go a little bit more in detail about that as well. Deathwalker noticed that Energy were looking for their own speed buff on that right-hand side. That's why the call from Gold Fury came out, and it allowed Ice Baby to get a speed buffer of his own. Deathwalker's stolen away the speed. Not only did they go Gold Fury, not only did they get a couple of kills, they get out free, and steal the entire right-hand side of NRG's jungle.
And look, it wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, definitely could have been executed better for Team Rival, but I love the call to do it anyways.
Deathwalker is still trying to fight here, has his ultimate available to get away, but he might not get a chance to use it, because if he does, Adapting's going to be waiting. One more hit onto Deathwalker should be enough to bring him down. The rally has worked. Adapting chose the wrong route, but the good news is the option was covered by iRafa.
That's why Adapting wasn't too worried. He knew the option was covered. Dimmy falling low here to Ice Baby, who doesn't commit that third part of the Storm Kata.
Wolfie snipe comes out. This time won't found Dimmy, but Callus is wrapping around the back now, and Dimmy needs to be careful.
No dash, no ultimate, nowhere to go. Wolfie is under that tower, but doesn't take the tower aggro from not hitting Raffer or Dimmy. Smart play there.
Raffer's baiting. Raffer's baiting because Yamin's on the way as well. Wolfie would have seen it now. They look for the pick on Callus, but Callus turns it around, and Raffer could be in trouble. No real follow-up available for Rival. They want to disengage, knowing that Adapting could be coming back.
This is exactly what you wanted to see in a change from game one there, Hindu. Instead of Callus throwing Raffer into his team, he throws him away. Adapting was on the way back. Didn't have his ultimate, but he's got his boots completed, got that blue stone. Level 9, going to be doing a lot of damage on this Thor. Smart disengage there for Rival, who answer back from that kill on Deathwalker.
Very comfortable position for Rival to be in right now. Most of their lanes are either even or ahead as it stands right now. They've not really paid much attention to Emelito right now, but Vote is still keeping pace, which is very important to keep a Hunter in the mix.
Without a doubt. And going back to that Gold Fury pull from Team Rival, again, it just goes back to, I don't know if they would have done that last year. The idea to just say, Raffer and Emelito are right in front of us, let's do the Gold Fury anyways. We could secure it over them. We may be able to get kills as well. This is a team that you can tell is just beaming with confidence right now.
It's a team with the idea of the pro players as well, starting to realize that positioning and looking like you're going to be here to defend doesn't always necessarily mean it's a bad idea to go in and continue the aggression, because he didn't allow NRG to set up by having NRG just go, we're watching you, don't do the gold. Instead, they force it and make sure that NRG are not in position to contest.
And they do. And again, despite Wolfie missing the raw snipe, they secure it anyways. Wolfie tweeted out last night, see if I can secure some objectives tomorrow. 0-for-1 so far in this game, but the snipes have been pretty solid.
We'll say the Rival have 3 comfortable gods at least. Deathwalker on that Bologna. He's had a fantastic tournament so far. Looks like he's going for that mystical mail yet again.
Yep.
Ice Baby, Susano. We spoke about Susano all weekend, at least out of Europe. They're really favoring this, and Ice has had a fantastic tournament on this so far. And finally, last but not least, Wolfie on the Raw. You can't ignore that either.
And Vote, I mean, he's been historically playing on her forever. Very much like Deathwalker on this Bologna. You know he's very, very comfortable on that god as well. That's what I was saying. I loved this draft just because of how comfortable Rival was with all these gods. NRG's draft is solid as well, yes, but I don't know, even with the Scotty for Emelito, this many comfort picks and that have proven they can play at an unbelievably high level is enough for me to really like what Rival's got going on.
Left-hand side, you saw Adapting there, potentially hovering for a gank, but mainly just to farm up. Red buff about to spawn for NRG, and Ice Baby was thinking about having a little nosy over there, see if he got a response, but seeing a couple of members thinks better of it and will just accept the oracles.
And this is big Oracle vision right now. Almost 12 minutes in. Gold Fury's going to respawn within the minute, but it's about Adapting, not being able to ult from that Gold Fury pit and put pressure onto Vote. It's very important that Vote stays healthy and stays safe with both of his relics up for this next Gold Fury
Just
fight.
keeping on the pressure that Rival are putting on the map too. Ice Baby strips away the purple on the left-hand side, but not only that, he will also manage, apologies, the purple buff went to Raffer there, my bad, NRG got that, but on the right, Deathwalker once again stole away Dimmy's blue. That's a level and a half lead right now in favor of the solo laner, whose Bologna performances have been fantastic.
And Guan Yu is not a warrior that can survive easily without the blue buff. In lane, it's fine because of the Talu Assault, but in terms of team fights, when he's constantly spamming Conviction, you need a lot of mana.
Deathwalker's staying in this fight a little bit longer than he really should without backup coming in. He's willing to box, knowing the cooldowns are down, but 2 Talu Assaults in a row could be a little bit too much. Luckily, Wolfie turns up finally to give him a bit more sustain back.
I was going to say, Dimmy is going to win this with Adapting just because any damage that Deathwalker does to Adapting, Dimmy can heal right up, but Wolfie was right there, ready to go, and say the same for Team Rival.
Meanwhile, though, because Adapting is showing in the solo lane, you can see how deep Ice Baby is on the left, trying to make sure NRG don't get an advantage on the left-hand side of the map, especially with the Gold Fury now respawning. This next one is very important.
Yemen hasn't really made too much of an impact yet in this game. 1, 2, and 1 out of the mid laner, and despite Poseidon being the most picked mid laner all split long, he was in over 60% of the matches, yeah, the win percentage. I'm going to stop talking now, thank you.
That's good. Good job. Dimmy on the right side.
That's the best piece of analysis I've ever done, isn't it?
Still trying to clear. Well, to be fair, it's about what I'm expecting.
I tried to do the Tolly thing, you know? I tried to go for numbers, and I'm not smart enough for that.
Just lie.
That's true.
Gandhi used to lie all the time. Gandhi lies all the time. He used to say, like, Zapman lands 92% of all his auto attacks that he throws. No one knows that because they don't have proof of the stats. You can just make it up. It's fine. Until you get proven wrong, and then it's awful. But right now, it's a bit of a lull as both teams are setting up and realizing how important this Gold Fury is. It's ward wars around this area right now. Rival control the exit of NRG's jungle near that red buff now towards mid, and Yamin was a little bit far forward there, and without support from NRG, they all kind of walked away from him for a minute, but Yamin played it well to get away.
Forced his Aegis, though, did Kalas, because he knew the snipe could have been coming from Wolfie. Wolfie has been proven, he's proven time and time again, he can hit that snipe off of any small CC, let alone a pretty solid one like that knock-up and root combination from Xingchen.
I like the fact that NRG looked a little bit towards that portal demon for a moment there on the right-hand side as well. Just letting Rival know that if you go towards that Gold Fury and put pressure there, we're going to try and answer that pressure on the other side of the map.
But no objective quite yet. That Gold Fury vision not quite there anymore. Oracle's due to respawn in just a moment. This next Gold Fury is going to be critical because it could really catapult Rival's lead into a place where they can really bully NRG out throughout the rest of the game, or NRG could use this Gold Fury to even it up.
But we're getting to that point as well where last game NRG turned up the heat. It was pretty much even by the point when it went to that Rival have the lead right now, but can they continue it through? Very important for them not to allow the gas pedal from NRG to be hit and then have it stripped away from them once more.
Both of these teams have a lot less AoE than they did in game one. I'm looking specifically at the different hunters. Huyi much better at these team fights than Scotty is.
Adapting gets pulled there, but do you like the Berserker? I like the Berserker Barrage just to try and cancel out any potential follow-up available to the side of Rival there, but that is giving them a window for the Gold Fury. Let's have a listen into Rival right now.
Lock down.
Go.
Nice. I'm dead.
Leave him. Oh shit, you ulted? That's not good. They will push mid, you'll push mid.
Can you yell that? You need to rotate.
Yeah, we need to defend mid lane, but
They're going to Porto.
They use all of our ults. We can defend us.
I think we can.
They're baiting behind the wall. Wanna fight it?
Yeah, go
I'm on plus.
Go plus, no Aegis.
Yeah,
Good
plus.
job.
So back.
Nice, nice.
Oh, what? Oh.
I only have that.
I have nothing.
I'm gonna go.
I think I know.
Forward is low, by the way. They are healing
They're
up
gonna heal
like 1 HP. Just get out.
I'm coming.
I double tap man, had Aegis. Didn't even see it.
Yeah, unfortunate, dude.
I'm
For just a second there, I thought Rival were just going to clean up the whole house, but the problem is they bit off more than they could chew again. The Portal Demon is low, though. Reset for the moment as the team of Rival wants to fight. There's Adapting, forced to beat and jump away. Scourge did good damage to Deathwalker, the Mystical Mail ticking, but Adapting will be able to exit back towards the mid lane. Portal Demon still stands.
The problem here for Rival is that their Sustained God is dead and Dimmy is still alive. Ice Baby was low health, and if Wolfie was there, that could have been an excellent opportunity for Rival to secure the objective.
Great pick onto Yamin early in that engagement. Yamin didn't really get anything off, and the Impale follow-up from Vote MBK, looking for an additional pick, just baited him into Emelito there, and Emelito went, really? I'm just going to ult you now, and Vote falls down.
It was really about that double tap over the wall.
Yeah,
you heard it in the comms there. He never saw it coming. Just getting hit with 600 damage out of nowhere can really mess with how much you think you can take before you use your relics.
So Rival get the Gold Fury for relatively 3 there overall. They continue to extend their gold lead just a little bit more, and now the dance around the Portal Demon will begin, both recognizing how important that is. Dimmy taking a lot of damage over here.
Has to use that cavalry charge to get away. Deathwalker's still pretty safe, though. He's full HP, level 15, and has that Eagle's Rally available to him.
But an opportunity arises for the speed buff invade. Left-hand side, though, the trade between the Hunters. Caldeir's into play. He's going to be able to tank the tower for Emelitos to get some more autos in if he can connect them, but Emelito's got to respect the tower damage as Caldeir falls down. Right-hand side, speed buff has dropped, and now Daptin's in a dangerous spot right now.
Typhoon is going to get Aegis out, and Wolfie went for the ultimate as well. Both the mid and jungle looking to clean up Adapting, but that Aegis getting him out of danger.
And the speed buff is secured from NRG, given to Rafa now as the left-hand side. Vote MBK is forced back to base, allowing Emelito to get a tier 1 tower in the left-hand lane.
Yaman is just getting poked out so heavily by Collis, who picks up 2 with that whirlwind to break his steal, but the commit is onto adapting. He has to use the Kraken defensively.
Yaman will get out, adapting to the sky now, looking to reinitiate onto Wolfie. The Raw's the one in trouble, tries to dance in the heal as long as he can, but both times of that double tap connect, and adapting will go onto a killing spree. Bad news is, though, Deathwalker is just ticking with that mystical mail, and will finally bring down Dimmy alongside the Jungle Thor.
Look at the player damage right now for Deathwalker. 14k. Emelito and Raph are here trying to defend this Portal Demon, but Rival popped the meditation and looked to take the fight.
Portal Demon is so very, very low. It'll go the way of Rival. Rafa gets hit by that nice little pillar coming out from Vote to slow him down. Secures Ice Baby another kill. Rival are taking it to the world champions right now. They are in control of this game.
Over 5,000 gold in the lead, only up 4 kills, but the difference this time is that their objective control has been much better. 2 gold Furies, that Portal Demon as well. Only tower off the map is in NRG's favor in that dual lane side, but Rival has been taking these team fights, and it always seems to be close. Look at this, 3-1 in kills. The damage is pretty close there, but it's just about where that damage is onto. Focus fire from Rival has been phenomenal so far.
Well, we've hit mid-game right about now. Mid-game's going to go on for a while here, Aggro, as we look at Ice Baby trading with Emelito. But Ice Baby bit off more than he can chew because Dimmy's still chasing him down. The Horsey will bring him in, but a nice knock will get him out. Adapting still wants to secure the kill. Aegis used by Ice Baby. He's not getting any support, however, as the rest of his team are looking towards Dimmy.
Adapting's in trouble now. He already used that hammer teleport. There's the Kraken onto the 2 in the jungle as Vote cleans up Adapting in between his towers. Deathwalker over the top, secures the kill on the Dimmy.
It's all going Pete Tong for energy right now as Team Rival continue the pressure. 2 kills now. Dimmy dead again. Adapting dead again. And they can look to siege the tier 1.
And Tom's analogy of NRG Jr. continues to look more and more true. Adapting there, looks like Ice Baby going a little bit too aggressive, trying to chase a low health target, ends up falling because of it. Emelito is going to get some pressure on this left-hand side, but Ice is here, and Emel's low.
Has to be careful with no relics available. I don't know if Emelito really knows the state of that. Rival in the mid lane, however, with that Raw, have got great siege potential. They'll take 2 towers in the mid lane. As on the left, you can see Emelito pushing. Yamin's trying to do the same on the right, but he's got to respect the fact that there could be rotations coming.
ML still in a lot of trouble here. No Aegis this time around. Ice lurking. Yeah, the ward, just see exactly where Emelito is. And I don't mind this play at all from Ice Baby. Emelito is going to get out of danger here, it looks like, by backing right there. But it's just about letting Rival do that Gold Fury. There was no way for Emelito to come and pressure that gold whatsoever. Another Gold Fury goes down in Rival's favor. They're up almost 10,000 gold.
This could be, like Tom said, the second coming of energy once more. Like, I'm not being funny. This really could be. The way they're playing it reminds me of the old school energy that we saw climb the ranks. They had one split where they didn't do very well, and then the next split they turned up and started to really apply pressure to some of the best teams in the world. And Rival are trying to do that right now as Deathwalker's taking the whole team on a wild ride. He got 2 ultimates out of that for 1.
But he is dead now, and that's a level 18 Bologna that just fell. It's going to allow NRG to snag that tier 1 tower on the right without much issue, and now they have to defend 4v5.
4v5, and Adapting has the ultimate available to try and force Rival back away from the tower. Callus goes in here, looking to keep them busy. Gets a couple of beads and takes Caldeir out, but Caldeir doesn't care because Emelito will clean up Callus now. It's a 3v5.
But the snipe from Wolfie's down. Ice Baby coming around the back. There's the Typhoon, going to knock up every member of NRG on this right side, but it's just not enough damage. Callus sacrifices himself there, but they save the tier 2 tower, at least for now.
Rival are a little bit too far forward here. You can see how Ice really wanted to go in again, but I like the fact that they didn't commit and chase energy out. They got what they wanted. They had pressure on them because they'd lost 2 members. Instead, NRG just get kills there. Don't find a tier 2, but they can look towards the tier 1 in mid.
Still 1,000 gold, closer to NRG evening up this game if they're able to find this tier 1 between the 2 tier 1 towers in mid and right earlier on.
Now the tier 1 will fall in mid unless Ice can get here in time with the squad. Tier 1 does fall down eventually, and NRG will walk away, happy to try and cut the gold lead just a little bit that Rival holds.
Portal Demon is going to be due to respawn soon, and I imagine that's exactly where Rival is going to be heading. If they want to, they've got enough of a lead that they can just push down that tier 1 tower on right, give NRG less of a retreat route in case of the next Portal Demon or Fire Giant fight.
Right, inside Deathwalker still level 18. 2-level lead over Demi still in this lane. This build we've seen a couple of times before has added a Witchblade to this. A lot of people don't recognize that Witchblade this time and day, if you use the auto attacks, it does apply a healing debuff, which is fantastic against the likes of a Guan Yu.
Deathwalker has some weird builds, but it's always subject to change. And I think that's the most important part. He doesn't just stick to one build all the time. And that's so important to just build for what you're up against and what your team has.
Now, with the tier 1 tower down the right-hand side, Rival are grouped around the Fire Giant. Portal Demon due up soon as well. As you can see, it's about to respawn. And Rival recognize that this is one of the corridors that Order have an advantage on of trying to funnel them all the way through where Emelito is right now.
We've seen so many fights right there. Deathwalker in this exact spot as the enemy team retreated yesterday, hit a 4-man taunt with Erlong Shen. You know they're comfortable fighting here. Demi is in a lot of trouble. Immediately cancels out the ultimate to stun out Ice Ice Baby. Really intelligent play there.
It was really well played by Demi, and at the same time Ice Ice Baby too. The Portal Demon is relinquished and given over to Rival because of that. Not in a position where energy right there, but they're still trying to fight.
Kalas gonna eat that Kraken, but still alive. Meditation, a huge ultimate coming out of Deathwalker as well.
Kalas alive!
He's still up. Adapting's gonna clean him up on the backside finally, but it's not before 2 fall from NRG.
So MBK's very low, and the double tap from Adapting will get him a second kill. Rapper's running from Ice Ice Baby. Will clean that one up as Ice Ice now has to join in and try and bring down Adapting. Adapting is the last man standing here, as you can see at the back. Demi's just trying to push waves and retreat as well. The sustain will come through for a minute, but Adapting's still in trouble.
Nice idea for the wall, but it's not quite there. Ice cleans up his 8th kill. 8-0-8 right now on this Susano.
Deathwalker's going to be happy to chase down Demi here and just keep him busy. There's nothing really up in the jungle right now that we can see. The Rival could look to take maybe the speed buff on the right-hand side, but Demi's just buying himself time to stay alive and making sure Rival can't get any objectives.
Wolfie
like
could
the
just
Fire Giant.
turn around here and kill Demi, I think, but the miscommunication there, Wolfie thought he was going the other way around those mid-heartbeats. Instead, Demi just still kind of running around, again, buying time to make sure Rival don't group up and push an objective.
I do like what Susano does on the left-hand side, though. Ice Ice Baby recognizing it's not worth killing Demi here and chasing him around. He's going to go and get a tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Deathwalker now is going to look for the speed buff of energies as well, which was available, but he may be in a bit of trouble here.
Just now getting his ultimate, not going to get the buff either. This is what we saw earlier on from Deathwalker, just up a little bit too far.
Yamin's going to get the Kraken up, but it didn't hit in the center, so Deathwalker can continue to run away. Callus there to help heal and make sure energy can't continue the chase. Speed buff stayed alive there for energy, but still, energy are really not doing well this game. Rival is still in control.
Well, without that Kraken, that is a win for Deathwalker, so he escapes and makes us eat our words. Not too far forward at all. Look at that cursed Ankh picked up by Deathwalker, not only going for the anti-heal in terms of the Witchblade, but with the Relic as well. Remember, no slow on it anymore, but it's more potent in terms of the anti-heal and the duration. It lasts forever.
And now with this gold lead, you can see their final items starting to come through for Rival, and Energy are quite far behind to try and contest this. This is why Rival want to keep pushing this advantage and trying to bait Energy into this Fire Giant pit.
And again, the sustain from coming out of Wolfie is enough to keep Rival healthy if necessary. Still doesn't have that Rod of Asclepius yet. He seems to really favor going this 5th item instead of 3rd like most other Raws seem to like to do. Really values his Ethereal Staff for that HP. And of course, the additional damage is getting a little bit of a % off of everyone that he hits with a beam.
And all Energy are trying to do right now is stall and make sure Rival do not get the Fire Giant. Rival recognizing this though, are going to try and apply some pressure to this right-hand side. Tier 2 tower is exposed. Adapting in the jungle on the Thor can look to initiate here. They have to be very careful, and that's why those wards placed down there. There may be 2 of them, but it's double vision to make sure they can keep an eye on this rotation potentially coming in from the jungler.
I really like this positioning from Rival. Not going to risk it at the Fire Giant. Instead, just allow Ice Ice Baby to harass Adapting and Raffer on this left-hand side and allow their team to get enough space to poke down this tower.
Not a lot of poke onto the tower just yet. That the wave clear for energy under that tower isn't too bad with Scardy. As long as they've got her there and the Whirlpools, the minion waves are going to be shredded even through the raw sustain that could come out for them.
That's true, but if Yemen's using his Whirlpool to clear the wave, that's a big control skill that
Scratch
they can't
that.
use.
There's a better minion on the front line. That's Deathwalker. He's tanky enough. Emelito took a lot of damage, so did Adapting. Half health already in this fight as Deathwalker's going to get sustain back up. Team Rival fall back, but Energy are not having it.
The Kraken hits Kalas and Deathwalker there, and a huge dunk coming out of Adapting. Desert Fury tearing through the enemy team, but Rival's already lost both of their frontline members.
And that's what the World Champions are looking to do there. They waited for Rival to group up to try and resustain and said, none of that, boys, we're going to fight now. 3 members left of Rival are running from NRG Esports as they tear down this right-hand side, looking for Vote MBK first of all. Rival are trying to support him, but recognize they have to back away, otherwise they could fall down too.
3 dead now for Rival, and it all just goes wrong so quickly. Kalas went so deep underneath that tier 2 tower. Deathwalker tanked it up, yes, but immediately got put down to about 20% HP. The heal from Wolfie was just too far forward. It was an easy Kraken for Yemen.
And now Ice Baby trying to contest the Fire Giant and look for a cheeky steal away. Will not find it. Instead, he'll find a quick trip back to the fountain. And NRG Esports have a chance to even up some of this gold now by using this Fire Giant to take down these tier 2 towers and the Gold Fury.
There's a lot of gold on the map right now. Over 5,000 available for NRG to take between the towers and the Gold Fury, like you mentioned. And if they take all that, that's a lot of momentum. In fact, they'd be in the lead, not necessarily in terms of gold, but in terms of who's closer to winning the game, because it would only be Phoenix's left standing for Rival, whereas NRG, they still have 2 tier 2 towers on the outside lanes.
Just one fight, that's all it was. One fight, and NRG just managed to turn this game back from being almost out of it back to an even game as it stands right now.
And that's what's so difficult, man. It doesn't matter if you've got a 10K, 11K, 12K gold lead, you cannot mess up. You cannot mess up one fight, or else NRG is going to, you can give them an inch and they will take 10 miles every single time.
Realistically, what Rival did there was the correct call though. They poked NRG very, very heavily and immediately fell back to resustain themselves to try and get an advantage for themselves. The problem was they tried to resustain too close to NRG, and it allowed Adapting and Yamin to come in and force that fight a little bit harder when they were trying to continue the engage, the re-heal.
Yeah, that heal was far too far forward, way too close to that tower line. Yemen it was just an easy Kraken, and yes, it was only onto the tanky targets, but Deathwalker was already low enough, and he's been doing such a good job of zoning out Yemen, zoning out Emilito. Really, Rival needs that frontline capability, and without it, NRG just got to chase them down. Vote tried to get away, and I liked his idea to turn and fight, you know, the last stand, trying to put out as much damage as he can before he falls, but it was only a matter of time. Now NRG still has this Fire Giant for about 2 minutes.
Well, 30 minutes into the game as well now, so full builds are starting to be completed. You can see NRG are still behind in gold, though not reached those 6 items they'd like. A little bit closer there for Rival to be getting to that point, but this will help NRG catch up just a little bit with this tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. The question is, do NRG defend here? Sorry, do Rival defend here?
Looks like they want to. Deathwalker's going to teleport in and immediately take a decent chunk of his health bar. Sustain from Wolfie this time, not too far forward, as the tower does fall below 50% HP.
Yeah, Rafa was tanking for a second, but doesn't want to take too many shots because that damage will continue to stack up and get a little bit worse each time. New minion wave coming in. Both teams have sustain as well, remember. Enough frontline for NRG to take shots at tanking the tower like Dimmy is doing now. Try and keep those minions alive to help them with the backdoor protections.
Now that gold lead down to about 3,000 or 4,000 gold. Rival still is up, but again, this Fire Giant, there's a lot of time left on this buff. NRG's not worried about that tier 2 tower on the right. They want this far side Phoenix.
Ice Baby's in mid lane on that Susano, looking to flank around the side. NRG, I'm not sure if they've spotted him just yet. They need to keep an eye on him though. He is a real threat. 8-1 and 8 on the Susano so far. Rafa's still tanking the tower shots. He's going to take a long time without minions, though, to bring down this Phoenix. And Rival are just patiently waiting.
Look at all the penetration that Emilito has in that build, though. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Phoenix right away. There's the engagement a little bit there. Snipe off the mark, though, from Wolfie.
Kraken different story. I say that, but the amazing Eagles ride from Deathwalker will avoid the damage. NRG are being pushed back, and a big ultimate from Callus allows Wolfie to pick up the damage dealer in Emilito. And the sustain from Dimmy's down too. Yamin has to beat and run for his life. Adapting's Aegis is down. He spins to try and avoid getting knocked up, and luckily his hammer comes up in time, but that was a Fire Giant team of NRG.
Beautiful engagement there by Rival, and the focus again is on to Emilito. Both relics can't save him. You were mentioning that the backline peel for Rival isn't great, but the same can really be said for NRG. Dimmy's got the heals, yes, but needs to use his ultimate to CC anybody off of his Hunter. It wasn't enough. The commit was good, even without that snipe from Wolfie hitting.
2 members of NRG are dead for another 20 seconds, and Rival have grouped in mid lane here, trying to heal up as the minion wave comes in. They really want this Phoenix. No ultimates available for NRG that are alive anyway, and 3 men have to defend against the onslaught of Team Rival.
Deathwalker again trying to tank it up. Ice is really focused on getting down, adapting. He pokes him out pretty heavily as Vote and the rest of Rival knock down the mid Phoenix.
The Phoenix goes down and Rival take control of the game once again. Fire Giant is off all the members of NRG Esports now. 30 seconds on the respawn of that, but NRG can't easily contest this Fire Giant now that Fire minions are pouring in through mid.
Yeah, Yemen still pushing forward, trying to find the slow onto Ice Baby. Can't quite find it, even with that increased attack speed, but the Kraken catches up to the jungler.
The Fatalis allows him to close the gap enough, and Ice just hung around a little bit too long there. No relics were available for Ice Baby. He was trying to cause a distraction, but the problem was he got picked.
That is the worst timing to get picked. Fire Giant just respawned right now, and he's still got 45 seconds to wait before he can come back. What has been a great game for Ice Baby. Really hurts Rival, though, getting picked in that scenario.
Rival can get here in time to contest it, but fight isn't going to be too bad because both their carries have their relics available. Adapting takes to the sky very early on just to make sure he can see people coming and make sure that does not happen. He's not after kills there, Aggro. Do you see that? He just watched them and went, what are you going to do now? I'm out.
Just stun him away because Wolfie with the snipe has great steal potential, especially without Yemen's Kraken there to secure the Fire Giant over top of that damage. Again, NRG have 5 members with the Fire Giant.
Is this even at this point then? Fire Giant for one team, the other team having the Phoenix?
Yes, especially with the fact that there's still 2 tier 2 towers remaining for NRG, so that Titan, even if Rival were to take a fight pretty handily, that Titan's going to be pretty tanky. It would be difficult for Rival to really get that Titan down.
Well, we've not had too many games so far that have extended past 30 minutes of the LAN so far this weekend. But one thing to note is this is one of the first competitive games at this time frame where we're not seeing rituals now. So builds will be focused on those power potions. The elixirs may come in once again as NRG take the Gold Fury and make sure it's closer to being exactly even in gold, even in experience.
The old 3K pot. We haven't seen one of those in quite some time. I don't think we're quite there yet.
Close, but not yet. Not yet.
Exactly. A lot of power potions, I'm sure, but at this stage, I mean, the items should be basically complete across the board.
Is there a team that has an advantage just on comps in terms of late game compositions here?
Clearly, both teams are capable of winning these late game engagements, even with Wolfie missing his snipe, and the fact that he's gone for the Spectral Armor instead of the Rod of Tahuti does hurt Team Rival. And don't get me wrong, I like the Spectral Armor pickup for Wolfie, especially up against a character like Thor or Guan Yu that have channeled abilities that can proc it and you can fear them away and cancel out the majority of their damage. But a lot of what Ra can bring to the late game is just instantly one-shotting someone with the 1 ult combination. Without Rod of Tahuti, Wolfie doesn't really have that. Now that Yemen has his Rod completed, I think NRG just have a little bit more damage across the board.
Well, the world champions are going down mid lane right now, looking their nose towards this middle Phoenix. There is a tier 2 on the right to take, but answering back the Phoenix that is down at their own in mid is very important to them now. I'm not sure if they really want to take this fight, however.
They could. I mean, again, it's just about knocking down those fire minions, like you said, and trying to get in there. The Phoenix does look like it's affected by that Emperor's armor coming out of Raffer. He's the one. No, it's Dimmy. Raffer usually the one to get it, but Dimmy had the gold.
Keep an eye on Ice Baby. He's on the left-hand side, but he's going to step on a ward now, and they might try and collapse onto him as Ice actually going to clear the ward out. Raffer will just keep him busy on the front side for a second now. They're waiting for the next minion wave to come in. We'll see if they can get this Phoenix.
Adapting knows where Ice Baby is. He knows that that's where he's been coming into these fights every time, trying to flank from the side.
Dimmy fighting with Deathwalker on the front side. Emelito's just patiently waiting at the back here. Rafa gets the pluck onto Callis and into the whirlpool. The snipe comes out here in Emelito, and Rafa took a lot more damage than he would have liked there, as well Caldeir forced to run away on just 2 hits of health.
What a quick mid coming out of Raffer there. As soon as that snipe hit Emelito, immediately meds him up, then the conviction heals coming out of Dimmy. That's exactly the whole point of this composition, is to just heal up that scenario.
Not just med though, but the shell is down, and now push out Rival, and Adapting's in the sky looking for an opportunity. They're looking for Vote at the moment. Vote's on his own, and he's going to get an Aegis. Good peel from Callis. The Wolf from Adapting did not help. On the backside though, Ice Baby and Deathwalker and Wolfie are taking it to the other 3 of energy. They get 1, they're going to not get 2 until the man Bellona falls.
Raffer's so low, but he got a lot of HP in that build. Ice plucked back into the enemy team of NRG. Adapting knocked up. There's the Furious Roar as well, but Adapting escapes with 1 HP. Ice Baby trying to chase him down.
Jungler versus Jungler, the old and the new will take the life of the world champion. Jungler adapting for NRG. Rafa, meanwhile, being chased down by Raw through the jungle back to his own half of the map. It's not long until he falls down, especially because Callus is going to join the fray.
There's the snipe to secure it as well. Only Dimmy left standing. 3 members here from Team Rival, and Wolfie is one of them, which is very, very important because the fact that Ice Baby is low is irrelevant with that raw sustain.
Ninja Dimmy has got a lot of hard work to do here. I don't think Rival can end the game with the 2 tier 2 towers still being up and these characters available. They ping towards the middle Phoenix though, and instead they're going to fall back towards the Portal Demon instead of looking to go for that Phoenix.
This is the safer call. Rafford has bought too much time, distracted Wolfie and Callas for too long for Rival to get that middle Phoenix. Emilito and Yaman both respawning right now. This would have been right as Rival was trying to get that middle Phoenix. Smart call here by Rival.
All 5 members of Rival are alive. A couple more seconds until NRG Esports will respawn fully. The Fire Giant pit at the moment is keep an eye on the wards there. That's the main thing to do. You can see a lot of sentries on both teams. Vision very important around this. One pick at this stage could spell disaster.
I mean, we saw what happened whenever Ice Baby got picked and allow NRG to get a free Fire Giant, which clearly hasn't been too much of a problem for Rival, who've defended both from NRG so far.
Free tier 2 on the right-hand side coming up for Rival right now. NRG will not be in a position to defend that one, so continuing to extend the gold lead that Rival have once again in this game. It's been a bit of a seesaw battle between the two, as you can see the graphs.
It really has been. I mean, this is a game now we're pushing almost 40 minutes, and Rival has been in control for the majority of it. It's been little fights here and there that have allowed NRG to grab that Fire Giant, extending the game.
Let's see what Rival can do next. Dimmy on the forefront, looking to poke out Rival, who are just going to sustain back up.
But Wolfie uses Purification Beads, and not only that, that procs that Spectral Armor that's down for another 80 seconds. So not only is Wolfie relevant or exposed in terms of that Spectral Armor being down, but he can't use that Purification Beads if he gets dunked by Adapting.
You can see Yaman in mid lane just dropping the Whirlpool to make sure his wave will push. You've got to keep an eye on that mid lane at all times, because if one of the members of Rival are left alone, they'll take that Phoenix for free as this dance around the Fire Giant continues.
Don't forget, though, that Wolfie has upgraded that Purification Bead, so it's up 30 seconds earlier than it would be normally.
Nice little pillar from Vote there, allowing Rafa to get a little bit of poke damage, but with Guan Yu on the side of NRG, both teams having some sustain, you'll be able to heal back up before the next engagement. Callus being looked at by Rafa, plucked towards the enemy team, but it's not going to be anything to write home about until Adapting takes to the sky.
Might be looking at Wolfie, but the focus on Emilito. Nice crack and peels for the Hunter as Deathwalker is trying to handle multiple members of the carries. The snipe is good from Wolfie, but not enough to knock anybody down.
Not just yet, and NRG looking to retreat a little bit, but their front line of Rafa and Dimmy are doing pretty good work. Rival also healing up on the backside, and Dimmy went for a different route away from his team. He takes a little bit more punishment. He'll survive for now. Both teams still alive.
Nice juke there from Dimmy. Gets him out of that jet stream coming from Ice Baby. And then the Wind Siphon was just not off cooldown in time to pull the solo laner back in.
Couple of problems though for NRG. Look at their relic situation. Only Yaman has his relics up. Left-hand side though, look at Rival's composition. You've got Vote MBK with both relics up, and Wolfie still has his Aegis. This could be a good fight for Rival.
Ice getting very low off that pluck. Dimmy going right for him into that backline with the cavalry charge, but Ice able to dash away. That snipe from Wolfie is ready to go. That CDR that he has a little bit of his build, really, really strong right now.
NRG looking to push on, and Deathwalker was the last one through the little closed gap, and he's going to get picked off. The snipe from Wolfie here Adapting, but it wasn't enough to bring him down. 1-0. 60 seconds plus in a 4v5 for Rival now.
Deathwalker does have teleport, but 60 seconds away from being able to use it. Multiple members of NRG back here because they've got that ward coverage on the Fire Giant. Yaman and Emilito hung around just in case, but they knew the Rival was a little bit too weak to pull that objective.
It was also because of the fact that Dimmy was completely out of mana there as well, and they had no sustain left in them, so they have to trade that drip back, at least Dimmy does, to make sure he can continue to heal up his team.
And his meditation is almost up, and that's so important for the Guan Yu, not only for additional healing, but to keep that mana pool healthy.
A couple of Masamunes on both sides now. I can see 2 on the side of Rival and 1 for NRG. Adapting's going up here as they look at the Fire Giant. They were trying to bait in Rival. Ice Baby could be the focus. Cancel that, it's Wolfie!
He's blocked back into the enemy team. Aegis is good, but not good enough. Emilito gonna pick up his 5th kill of the game, putting NRG at the even 20.
Just want to keep your eyes on Deathwalker. He's still not alive, but his teleport is coming is available, and he's about to respawn. Ice can't get in here alone, though.
But at this stage, Rival's already defended 2 5-member Fire Giants at this stage. You may as well just give this one up. No sense in getting yourself at a bigger disadvantage. Try and buy time for Wolfie to respawn and take that fight once he does.
The problem for both these teams is how often have they been in these late game scenarios as of late? No rituals available for them this time round. The games go a little bit longer because everybody is on an even keel. No team really has an advantage in this other than NRG right now because of that Fire Giant.
No 3K pots on either side quite yet either. Looks like Wolfie's gone for that Breastplate of Valor now. Still hasn't sold that Dynasty Plate Helm. The 1700 gold tier 2 kind of transition item, not really helping him out as much at this stage in the game. If he gets enough gold to sell that for a Rod of Tahuti, that could be a big difference maker.
Well, NRG at the moment are falling back. Rafa went in alone there. The rest of NRG were around. Rafa gets impaled into the wall. He needs support from Emelito because of that. Rafa's really low. Deathwalker thinking about it. Ice thinking about it. Pushing forward. Will the call be engaged? No. Rival are happy to just poke out Rafa enough and walk away.
That is a big cooldown, though, because lurking in the waters is Raffer's only option to get out of that whirlwind of rage and steal from Kalas. And if Kalas can deliver Raffer on a silver platter to vote, you can see just how much damage he was doing to Raffer. Even that small time he got some auto attacks off, that could be enough to really turn a fight in Rival's favor.
It was one of those things, though, where it was just a small miscommunication from NRG, and you don't get to say that too often, do you?
No. They've been around so long, they've been together for so long that you really don't expect to see that very often. In that scenario, yeah, it does kind of stink, but not a whole lot of danger in terms of that. Good CDR on that Mantle of Discord from Raffer, so that ultimate going to be off cooldown pretty soon.
Well, now the waiting game is here. The Fire Giant is still on all 5 members of NRG. Not too much longer, though. And they're not really happy about trying to siege up Phoenixes, even though they've had the Fire Giant before. You've mentioned it. Rival have managed to hold on.
Every single time, NRG had a failed push on this left-hand side, and that looks to be the Phoenix that they're looking for. And this is smart because not only is it the farthest away from the Fire Giant, but it's also the only lane where they have a tower. So if Rival want to make that counter push and knock down the enemy Phoenix to even up the Fire minions, it's going to take them even longer to do so.
Keep an eye on Ice, who's sat in mid lane, once again looking to flank around the back if anyone on Rival can get members of NRG low on the front lines. Let's have a listen in to NRG here as they look to siege down this Phoenix.
Susanna from back.
I don't get poking yet.
Fortune Chung.
Just fucking chase the Susanna, like Thor and Scotty, just fucking chasing.
No.
Just focus on the siege for now. Focus on the siege for now.
I've
got a ward there again.
You want me to ult this?
Not sure.
The
No.
problem is, ML
I
can't
think
go for.
if they fight us afterwards, it's bad, right? Poke Ballona.
Just stand out behind us
Susanna's fine.
again.
Susanna's fine.
Okay. Just keep an eye
Do
on
we not
it.
have a sentry? Do we not have a sentry? Yeah, I'm looking for him.
Maybe put that normal bait to clear it and then we go on them.
Yeah.
Behind us now.
And us.
Susanna's here.
Going
Susanna's
David,
here.
They're really poked.
Yeah, look for them. Susanna from behind. Susanna from behind.
They're gonna me.
Susanna's down.
Oh, Malt's down.
Careful, heal up.
Careful.
Yeah.
Heal up now. Heal up now. Heal up now.
Good crack, good crack.
Get out. Get out.
Heal up, heal up.
Stay.
Heal up. Same again. I have brawlers on me. So
Just
it's
relax.
fine now.
Watch out for Susanna from behind again.
Push this now, push this now.
I need healer.
Okay, Susanna's ahead of us.
I'm out.
Well, NRG are calm under pressure there. They recognize how important Susanna was, but they found that pick onto Kalas, and they can't defend now. Rival of that Phoenix on the left-hand side. Immediately, NRG look to group in mid. The sustain is what they were after, but there goes Deathwalker!
Big Eagles rally, and then Ice pulls 2 into the Phoenix. Yaman, 1 HP. Vote's going to be able to pick him up. Emil running for his life. Deathwalker cleans him. Vote finds 2. Dimmy forced to run and just able to survive.
And Ice will chase them down to make sure they can't get away here. Dimmy's looking to try and find a way out of this. The rest of Rival are going to pile down the mid lane and get that Phoenix. Rafa, realizing there's trouble, needs to base to try and defend the Titan. The respawns are so long here, aggro.
Dimmy's going to fall. It's only Raffer here to defend, and he's got to do it for 45 seconds. The only difference is, can Deathwalker stay healthy enough to tank up this Titan?
The old and the new, and the old are in trouble right now. Yes, they're at 1 game, but Rival are going to make it a best of 1 if they can bring down this Titan. Rafa flips Deathwalker away. He's trying to body block the best he can. The surrender vote has started, and Rival have defeated NRG Esports in a 46-minute extended game.